Memorial Day weekend. Riverside, California, 12:15 in the afternoon. The parking lot outside Joe's Roadhouse diner was packed. Veterans gathered for their monthly lunch. Old soldiers sharing stories over coffee and pie. Men who'd served in Vietnam, Korea, Desert Storm. Men who'd earned the right to park in handicapped spaces with Purple Hearts and shrapnel still lodged in their bones. Walter Chin was one of those men. 81 years old. Vietnam veteran. Purple Heart recipient. Survivor of the Tet Offensive. His hands shook from nerve damage caused by torture in a POW camp 47 years ago. All Walter wanted was to park his truck and join his brothers inside. But 3 young men were blocking the handicapped spot, standing next to a white Mercedes, filming themselves, laughing, performing for a camera mounted on a tripod. Tyler Brooks, 23 years old, 3.2 million TikTok followers, known for cruel pranks that humiliated strangers for entertainment. His previous videos included pushing a homeless man into traffic, destroying a child's birthday cake, and stealing tips from restaurant tables, all for views, all for fame, all for the algorithm. Walter pulled up slowly, rolled down his window. His voice was polite, respectful. "Excuse me, son. That's a handicapped spot. I have a permit. Would you mind moving?" Tyler looked at the camera, smiled. That predatory smile of someone who's found their next victim. "You hear this, guys? Grandpa wants us to move." His 2 friends, camera crew really, laughed on cue. One of them zoomed in on Walter's face. "Please," Walter said quietly. "I just need to park. My legs don't work so well anymore." Tyler stepped closer to the truck, still smiling. "Still filming? What's wrong, old man?" "Legs don't work." "Maybe you should have thought of that before you came out here." Walter's hands gripped the steering wheel. He'd faced worse than this. Viet Cong interrogators, bamboo cages, starvation, but this casual cruelty from a boy who'd never suffered a day in his life. It hurt in a different way. "I'm a veteran," Walter said. "I have a legal permit to park here." Tyler's eyes lit up. This was getting better, more dramatic, more views. "Oh, you're a veteran? Let me guess. You sat behind a desk and told real soldiers what to do." His friends howled with laughter. One of them held up his phone, live streaming to Tyler's followers. "Nah, man," the friend said. "He probably just claims he was in the war for free parking." Walter felt his chest tighten. "Breathe. Just breathe. Don't let them see they're getting to you." He put the truck in reverse, started to back up. He'd find another spot. It wasn't worth the confrontation, but Tyler wasn't done. He walked up to the truck window, leaned in, close enough that Walter could smell the energy drink on his breath. "Should have minded your business, old man." And then he did it. Tyler Brooks pulled back his fist and punched 81-year-old Walter Chen directly in the face. The impact knocked Walter's glasses off, split his lip. The old man's head snapped to the side from the force. Blood trickled down his chin. Tyler jumped back, laughing, arms raised in triumph like he'd just won a championship fight. "Did you see that? Did you get it? Tell me you got that." His friends were screaming with excitement. "Dude, that's going to get 10 million views. Gonna break the internet," Tyler shouted. He turned to the camera. "Smash that like button if you think old people need to learn respect." What Tyler didn't know, what he couldn't see because he was too busy performing for his audience, was what was happening inside Joe's. Roadhouse. 40 members of the Iron Brotherhood Motorcycle Club were having their monthly meeting in the back room. They'd served together, ridden together, bled together, and many of them were veterans themselves. Tank Morrison, club president, 62 years old, former Marine Corps sergeant, stood at the window. He saw everything. The punch, the laughter. Walter's blood on the steering wheel, Tank's jaw clenched so hard his teeth ground together. "Brothers," he said quietly, "we have a situation." 40 chairs scraped against the floor in perfect unison. 40 bikers stood. No one ran. No one shouted. They simply walked toward the door in formation. boots creating a rhythm that sounded like distant thunder. Outside, Tyler was still celebrating, still filming, completely oblivious. "Yo, Grandpa's crying," one of his friends shouted. "Get a close-up!" Walter sat in his truck, hand pressed to his bleeding mouth, tears streaming down his face. Not from pain, from humiliation, from the realization that this is what his country had become. He'd taken bullets for these kids, spent 3 years in a bamboo cage so they could have freedom, and this is how they used it. The restaurant door opened. One biker stepped out. Then another. Then another. A wall of leather and steel and barely contained fury, Tyler finally noticed. The smile faded from his face. "Oh, snap," his friend whispered. "Dude, we should go," but it was too late. The circle was already forming. 40 bikers surrounding 3 young men and a white Mercedes. Tank walked straight to Tyler, 6'4", 260 pounds. Tattoos covering arms that had once carried wounded Marines off battlefields. His voice was low, controlled, more terrifying than any shout. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." "Boy," Tyler tried to recover. Tried to play it cool. Held up his phone. "Yo, chill. It's just content. You know, for TikTok, it's not serious. Content?" The word came from Hammer, a massive biker with arms like tree trunks and a scar running from his eye to his jaw. "You just assaulted a war hero for content?" Walter's voice came weakly from the truck. "Please, no violence." "I don't want trouble." But the bikers weren't listening to Walter anymore. They were laser-focused on Tyler like wolves surrounding a wounded deer. "Delete the video," Tank commanded. "Now," Tyler laughed nervously. "No way, man. This is gold. You old dudes don't understand social media. This is how you build a brand." Snake, the club's tech guy, pulled out his phone. Started scrolling Tyler Brooks. 3.2 million followers. Known for controversial pranks. He kept reading, his voice getting darker. Previous videos include pushing a homeless man into traffic, destroying a kid's birthday cake, and harassing fast food workers. "Those videos got millions of views," Tyler said defensively. "People love that stuff. This video," Razor promised, cracking his knuckles, "is going to get you millions of problems." Tyler tried to run. He made it exactly 3 steps before Hammer clotheslined him to the ground. Tyler hit the asphalt hard, the air rushing from his lungs. "My camera!" Tyler screamed as the tripod fell over. "That's a $10,000 camera." Tank walked over, picked it up, looked at it for a long moment, then placed it carefully on the ground and crushed it under his boot. The crunch of breaking plastic and electronics echoed across the parking lot. "Now it's a $10,000 pile of trash." Tyler scrambled for his phone. "I'm calling the cops. This is assault. You can't do this." "Go ahead," Tank said calmly. "Call them. Explain how you assaulted an 81-year-old disabled veteran on camera." "We'll wait." Tyler's finger hovered over the screen. The reality was starting to sink in. He was surrounded, outnumbered, and very, very wrong. One of his friends tried to edge toward the Mercedes. "Ghost?" A silent biker who'd been standing perfectly still stepped in front of him. "You're not going anywhere until this is handled." Tank pulled Walter's door open gently, helped the old man out of the truck. Walter was shaking, blood still on his chin. "Sir, are you all right? Do you need medical attention?" Walter shook his head. "I'm fine. Please don't hurt them. They're just lost. Hammer growled. "They assaulted you, and they'll face consequences," Tank said. He looked at Tyler, still on the ground. "But Walter's right. We're not animals. We don't beat up kids, even when they deserve it." He crouched down next to Tyler, eye level. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to apologize to Walter. Then you're going to delete every video on your account where you hurt or humiliated someone. Then you're going to make a new video admitting what you did and explaining why it was wrong." Tyler's eyes went wide. "That's like half my content." "My career—" "Your career," Snake interrupted, "was built on cruelty." "That's not a career. That's being a parasite." Tyler looked around. 40 faces staring at him. 40 sets of eyes that had seen real violence, real sacrifice, real honor. Men who'd earned respect through blood and service, not through likes and shares. He started to cry. Not fake tears for the camera. Real ones, I'm sorry, he whispered. Not to us, Tank said. To him, Tyler crawled over to Walter, looked up at the old man whose face he'd just punched. I'm sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Walter looked down at him for a long moment, then placed his shaking hand on Tyler's shoulder. Young man, I've been tortured by professionals. I've been beaten by men who enjoyed cruelty. But do you know what hurts more than any of that? Tyler shook his head, tears streaming. Seeing what you represent. Seeing people use their freedom to hurt the weak instead of protect them. We fought for you to have choices, and you chose this. The words hit harder than any punch could have. Tank made a phone call. Hey, Chief, we have a situation at Joe's. Someone assaulted a veteran on camera. Yeah, we're holding him for you. Within 5 minutes, 2 police cars arrived. The officers, both veterans themselves, took one look at Walter's bleeding face, at Tyler's expensive camera equipment, and at the circle of bikers, and understood immediately what had happened. Tyler was arrested for assault and elder abuse. His friends were cited as accomplices. The Mercedes was impounded. But before they put Tyler in the police car, Walter had one final thing to say. He walked up to the young man, looked him in the eye. You wanted to go viral? You're about to become famous for all the wrong reasons. Use your time in jail to think about what kind of man you want to be. Because right now, you're nobody's hero. The police car drove away. The crowd that had gathered started to disperse. But the bikers stayed with Walter. They helped him inside, got him cleaned up, bought him lunch, refused to let him pay for anything, and that night the story exploded online. Not Tyler's version, the real version. Security footage from the diner, witness testimony, Walter's interview with local news. Within 24 hours, TikTok terminated Tyler's account for violating community guidelines. His sponsors dropped him. His followers abandoned him. His reputation was destroyed. But something beautiful happened, too. A fundraiser started for veteran services in Walter's name. It raised $300,000 in 1 week. Walter used every penny to fund programs helping homeless veterans. And the Iron Brotherhood? They made Walter an honorary member, gave him his own patch, his own seat at the table, his own family who would never let anyone hurt him again. 6 months later, Tyler was released from jail. He'd served his time, lost everything. His career, his money, his fame, but he did one thing right. He found Walter, apologized again, for real this time, and Walter, being the man he was, forgave him. Again, you have a choice now, Walter told him. You can be bitter about what you lost, or you can become the man you should have been all along. Tyler took that advice. Started volunteering at veteran centers, helping old soldiers with yard work, grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, using his hands to build instead of destroy. He never went viral again, never chased fame, never hurt anyone for views, but he became something better than famous. He became decent, and sometimes on Memorial Day, you can find him at Joe's Roadhouse, sitting at a table with 40 bikers and one elderly veteran, listening to stories about honor, sacrifice, and what it really means to be a man. The cameras are off. The phones are put away. And for the first time in his life, Tyler Brooks understands what truly matters. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn, and some lessons can only be taught by men who've lived long enough to know the difference between popularity and integrity.